Hello, and welcome back to Motive Rebuilds. Today, we're going to be working on the 2004 Volvo S60R, replacing the infamous PCV box. And this system is notorious for failure on these cars. After about 70 to 140,000 miles, these things are known to clog up and cause oil leakage, and my car has been leaking oil ever since I've owned it. I've replaced the oil pan, I've added additives to try and get it to stop, which I probably shouldn't have, and now that pinpoints me to the PCV box. And this system's a little bit weird as well. This is an oil trap system as opposed to a valve, so all of it, the gunk, is going to pile up in here and make things a little bit harder to clean out. And if you don't drive your car on the highway, it doesn't burn off. I drive my car on the highway. The previous owners may not have, so we're going to be fixing what they didn't.
This is what we like to call a preliminary investment.
For sure. We're also going to be replacing the top PCV hose found on the top of the engine bay, and also this coolant pipe that runs across. These also tend to get pretty clogged up. It's held on by 2 hose clamps on either side and 2 banjo bolts, which are very frustrating. We'll get to that in a little bit.
More fittings. We got also the intake manifold gasket. So Noah, what's our first step in all of this?
I have 2 wrenches in my hand, and we're going to be starting with the top engine mount. Then, time to zip loose our bolts for our strut bar. What secures the top engine mount to the frame. I can't tell you how many times I've popped this thing out on other repairs. Next up on our agenda is to remove the over-the-air crossover pipe. There'll be one that pops this guy off. This is going to release it from the intake manifold, which also holds on the power steering hard line. At the back of here, probably going to need
that is right behind the boost pipe.
Yep.
Also, is that the clamp on there, the band clamp?
Yeah, that's a V-band. I think I told you I had trouble with this previously.
Yep, and that is center of the screen right there.
The 04s and 05s use V-band clamps, but 06s and 07s use a regular hose clamp for their over-the-intake pipes. Find it.
The fishy McFisher tool. Yay.
First mishap of the day. And the last V-band clamp I had on here, and why I had to replace it, is because it was actually on the wrong way. That clip's nice and loose. That should allow this thing just... We can see there's some oil on the gasket here. And also, if we look right here, there's some oil in the intake.
Ugh.
That's a telltale sign. We might want to clean this thing out later on.
Hey, at least your turbo's better lubed.
Undo the next power steering hardline hose. Little cover thing off. So now this power steering hardline is able to move. We're going to pop off the covers.
New revelations. There is more oil seeping out of that boost pipe.
Probably going to do this to Guy's car as well. His hasn't had this service. Oh, his last engine did not have this service, and it ended up bleeding oil and blowing up.
Oh, just because of absence of oil?
Well, yeah, because the PCV system blew. He blew his cam seals, and then oil started leaking all over the engine. And then he ended up getting bore scoring.
Oh, ho, ho. That is a lot of oil. Let me open up that. Oh, my gosh. Okay, yeah. Oh.
No wonder we got oil smell when driving. Let's see how much oil is in here.
Some around here.
I think that's just the cam seal, you know, because the PCV is pushing stuff out. So there we go. And there we have our fuel rail.
Yep, and the bleed.
And I suppose next up we can work on our intake. That should just pop right out the other side. And for safety's sake, I'm going to thread these bolts back into their holes.
That's just a cover. Feel free to tug.
And there's our turbo control valve that'll pop off of our intake. So as we can see, most of this job is mainly just assembly and disassembly.
So that's the intake tube coming out the bottom?
Yep. It's the mass airflow sensor. And as we can see under here, first signs of our banjo bolt. You can see it right over there. Now it's going to be where we purge the fuel.
Hey, Noah.
What?
There is a little bit of oil in the intake pipe.
Yep, that's PCV. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Hey, don't mingle it. Be careful when you're doing this. Don't try to smash it. Don't try to push it to the side or the other side. Just push it straight down.
Next up is removing the fuel rail.
All right.
First up, we're going to disconnect all of this, and 5. This system can just sit pretty right there. And then we have a nice little button right here that you need to press in to release the fuel rail. Other cars have different styles. You'll either have a clip with a T15, or you'll have a quick disconnect. So one of the sides is pressed in. The reason it's like this for ours is because of that little cover. And this is also a good time to replace the fuel pressure sensor. That's an item that often goes bad on these cars. There's one side. Oh, we didn't break the clip. There's a little bit of fuel popping out. And here are our injector gaskets. Time to remove the intake manifold. 10's loosened.
There is a bolt just on the other side of here, right past the alternator. Why Volvo did it this way, I don't know.
I can just fish it into there. Just need to give a few more turns on that bolt.
Oh no, it just slides in and off.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are forks that come down. Okay.
Yeah, that's how it works. And one last thing to do is pull our dipstick tube. And the funny thing is, when I first got this car, when I pulled the dipstick for the first time, it broke.
Inside the tube?
Yeah, probably because it never had been out, so I had to get a new tube to replace it.
Oh, that just kind of pops out.
Yep.
So what's that line?
This is just a random vacuum hose that needs to come off.
It's got a little fitting on there?
Yep. Just gotta pop that right off. That's the connector for the throttle. So now we're gonna have to drop our 7mm into there to get at that.
Oh my! Yeah, that's not a nice one. So is that just a standard throttle body?
Yep. That's all it is.
I'm interested to see where that connects into the intake system.
Yeah. And then the best idea is to use my body weight and push down on it.
And for reference, he's asking you to push down on this hose.
And then this intake manifold should start coming right off. Oh, we have one
Connector.
Yeah, the connector for the throttle. That's all we have to do now. Yep, and there's 2 tabs on the side. We have eyes on our banjo bolt right in there. Left side of the intake manifold. And so far, we are about 40 minutes in. Try my 17mm offset wrench here if I'm able to get to that. If I had a straight shot at that, it'd be easier, but I'm gonna probably have to go.
Oh.
Wait a minute. This PCV system might have been done before, although apparently not very well.
Men in the Motive Rebuilds group were made with small hands for a reason. Reason 1, PCV system.
Specifically, banjo bolt. I just broke it. That'll give me more room to get the connector for the throttle out.
I was now wrenching from the underside of the intake. This can provide some advantage. Noah life hack. Use a socket when you can, or ratcheting instead of box wrenches.
Yeah, and these hoses do have a bit of flexibility to them, so you're able to manipulate it as such.
That is probably... Oh, there we go.
And the intake can just pop up. Ooh, yeah. That is pretty gunked up. Just some influence. And this intake manifold can just lift off and to the side. Being careful what the hoses are doing. There's our throttle body. And if you look in there, you can actually see the valves. But there it is. The PCV box right here. We can see there's hose clamps holding it on.
Very quickly, shine your light down in that intake hose.
Yeah.
That's just disgusting. What is that fragments of?
That's just a, like, soot and things like that building
Oy.
up from the PCV system.
So how grimy is that for a throttle body?
Not too bad. Yeah, now we're gonna remove the PCV box. Gonna try and pop this hose off of that. Just pop straight up. Hoo hoo. That doesn't look too nice under there, eh?
No, it's dirty.
Now we're gonna pop this other
Destructive
hose clamp loose.
clip off.
Yep, Oediker style, aka non-reusable.
AKA temporary.
Yeah, we're gonna grab this one right here, pop this first 10 out, and that next 10 is sort of hidden underneath on the bottom side there. So that's gonna be a little bit more difficult. We can see on the new PCV box, it's sort of right in that recess. So if I look into there, so I discovered that on the second one, that was actually a 12 millimeter. It was a 10 on the first one. Apparently this PCV system has been done before, but something was probably amiss, so.
Yeah, given that that tube on the top that's open right now popped right off.
1,300.
1,500 if somebody else did this?
Yep.
Wow, and we're paying like 400?
Yep. This thing should just come right off, but.
Oh, so there's, yeah, because I was wondering, you
Oh
were
my
using such a
God.
short extension.
Oh my God, dude.
So instead of going for that bolt that was recessed, he went for another one. Which
That
one
was
did you take out?
And for the bracket.
Oh. Okay, because I was like, you can just stick your socket in there because you can use it as a guide. You can use the box as a guide.
Oh my God, dude. No wonder they were different sizes. Damage we caused when we finally get this thing popped out, but moving that power wire did give me a little more room to get in there.
Yep.
You just gotta fish around for the bolt. See, I told you something was wrong.
I was trying to tell you to use an extension the entire time
Yeah.
and was wondering how you were able to get at that without one. I was sitting there like, what? How is that even working? Turns out there was a reason it was working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we're out. How bad our old PCV box is. So,
That's on the surface, but still, like, not good. Well, we'll cut that open. We'll see how bad it is.
yeah, and also we'll feel the weight difference between the two. Seeing how bad this... Ooh! Oh, man.
On the PCV box, it was kind of on the outside of that fitting, but nah, this is just bad.
Thankfully, I dropped my oil pan and cleaned that out previously, so I got the other side of it done. But
Okay.
but normally, if this is clogged or too clogged, you have to drop the pan. Just get as much of this out as we can. There actually wasn't that much. That's the outlet, so that leads down to the oil pan. And we'll cut this open too, because this tends to get pretty clogged up with carbon as well. So, all right, I'm gonna cover the alternator with some of this in case we do have a gusher. We'll clean it up off the floor once we finish here. I'll go get my coolant drain pan. See if we can get our 17 mil onto that. Flip it over. And might be a better idea to come in with a socket from the side.
If you have a small socket, yeah. No extension, I don't think.
Coolant drain pan emergency. If we can even get it to fit. We're just gonna jack up the one side of the car. Yep, and we can continue taking out that banjo bolt. That banjo bolt is still a little bit tight through there, so.
How about that low profile electric ratchet? Crush bolt out with both washers. There you have it.
We just gotta kind of squish everything into one. Yep. So there's the hose. And then here's the bottom piece of it. And you can see where the bend is.
Yep.
Next step, I suppose, if we want to, we can get the new hose in. We could probably call lunch after we get the new system in, because we're making pretty good progress.
Yep. And how long was this?
We are in 2 hours.
Imagine we get this done in 5 total hours or under. That stinker's hard to get at.
to get this hose and all our clamps into position. First clamp is going to go over this. And look, not Oediker style. The second clamp is going to go over this one, because that'll be clamped onto the PTC. Now we're going to grab a banjo bolts and 2 crush washers. These banjo bolts, make sure they're the same size. So the bigger banjo bolt, I think this one's an 18, is going to slide onto this fitting right here. And think about banjo bolts you want to take note of is 1 crush washer here, slide it onto the fitting, and then crush washer number 2. Yeah, now it's just trying to feed this thing
back in.
Yep. All the way to the back and through. And this is where we want to take flexibility advantage of the fact that these hoses are flexible. Just give it a good push. Oh, we dropped.
You dropped one.
Oh, there it is.
Straight down.
And then just keep pushing.
There.
Yep. And I won't be able to see this for just a second, but we're going to slide this clamp onto here. And then slide this side onto the PTC. I'm going to make sure we're all the way on. I'm going to get that clamped in momentarily.
So what we are doing right now is we are getting ready to put the banjo bolt in and feed it back. This is generally a little bit of a problem because you got to keep the crush washer on the outside of the fitting and the inside of the fitting and keep it in there whilst maneuvering it into that side port. Big pain in rear end.
Other crush washer decided to go.
Did you lose it?
No, I never even picked it up.
Well, the other crush washer was right up here.
Yeah, well, I had it, and then I moved it down here. So, oh, there she is.
Oh no! Yeah, don't lose crush washers, folks. Pain in rear. Very carefully, whenever you have to lay it down, very carefully go back to not lose the bolt or the crush washer.
Boom. Okay, we're winning here, trying to get this darn thing. All right, so trying to fish this thing back in and find the other end. Okay, so there's the other end of that. That needs to come there. Fits into the PTC fitting. So that's a little low. So that needs to come up. Make sure you don't get anything stuck.
Now it has removed an engine bracket that goes right here in order to assist with the installation of this banjo fitting, because it is a pain in the rear, if you couldn't tell already.
I think we're starting
Just, yeah,
to get tight
turn
there.
it as much as you can. Turn it as much as you can so it doesn't pop out.
I can't turn it anymore by hand.
Okay.
I think I just need a straight 19 to get in there. The offset's kind of throwing me off here. Some of this stuff.
And a bunch of Frenching. Oh, banjo bolt is in. And brackets for the engine are going back on.
So I should just slide down.
Pins.
After that ordeal, it's time to put the new PCV system into the car. But firstly, we must attach this coolant hose. That'll slide up right on over and push right into there. Slide that all the way on. I'll give that a little push into the bottom. You can see that just went right on, and
that new hose for the top of the PCB is actually very flexible. The other one is just, as Noah said, heat cycled and just completely dead.
oh, this thing just needs to slide on in. Grab our big hose clamp for this fitting. Let's actually see this hose right here, if it's a... Because there are a lot of differences in these cars based on just their model years. There we go. We'll get the hose clamp. We'll tighten up the hose clamps on these fittings. 8mm.
Is there a hose clamp for the fitting?
Yeah. Just doing a little dry fit.
All right. All right, Noah, let's get some of that action.
So I can get...
That is the old piece of hose.
It's gotten heat cycled, and
Pick up one of those other pieces and drop it on the floor.
Tink, tink.
I think we do.
Yeah, let's do it.
But yeah. This kit was missing a hose clamp on this upper little tube thing here, so we want to tighten it to make sure that it stays on there. It is nice how these bolts just act as hangers. Screw that in just enough so we still have room. Back it up just a little bit so we have room for that intake manifold to pop over. And last piece that pops over, and this will go in there. This is going to go over. However, we want to wait to put the intake manifold in because it has to slot between. So now we have to tighten this guy. That's basically it. Route the fuel line. You should just give this thing a push and it should just fall right on. So we'll just grab our 10mm.
Watch that hose. Wheel line.
So Wheel and Verb, when he did this job, his car was running rough. You know why? He forgot to connect the throttle. So let's find the big hose clamp for the throttle. Where that went.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't interfere. Back in.
That seems like that went right in.
Yep, but we have one more step.
Yep.
That is, I'm going to pop this up just a bit.
Throttle.
Banjo bolts.
Oh, that's right.
So I'm going to tip the intake manifold forward and up to get
that fitting underneath. And there's our bolt. With a drilled instead of inserted. Yeah, and that's what's nice about this one. You can't easily lose the crush washer because you set the manifold basically on top of the bolt and the banjo fitting. What year is the car?
04.
04.
Yeah, the hardest part is getting this on straight.